Let's turn now to the United Kingdom, where the cost of living has been rising in recent months, and food as well as energy prices have been rising remarkably over the past year, particularly gas prices, but partly in response to the conflict in Ukraine. International students are at the center of it all, and we have more details in this report.
Nearly half of adults across Great Britain say they have spent more than usual to get what they normally buy when food shopping within the past 2 weeks. International students studying at universities in the UK are feeling the weight of inflation, with spikes in both the cost of living and tuition. A Chinese student pursuing a PhD at Queen Mary University of London said with food prices going up, he has to spend strategically to make ends meet.
If I plan to go to a museum or dine out with classmates during the weekend, I will have to control my meal expenses within £12 a day from Monday to Friday.
Besides food, student housing has gone up by about 8% compared with last year. Another student at Queen Mary said that over the past few years, his annual expenditures have increased by £5,000 to £10,000.
My annual expenditure was about £44,000, but now that has increased to £49,000 to £55,000.
The country's inflation hit a 41-year high in October last year when it surpassed 11%. Currently, the UK's inflation rate is about 6.7%.
Now, for more on the disturbing trend in the United Kingdom, let's speak with an economist, Benga Onifade, who joins us live from London. Thank you for talking to us this hour. We understand that the rental prices in the UK have now risen by over 8% compared to the previous year, and it's a burden on international students. So what really is happening here?
I mean, you're correct. The rental prices have actually more than doubled, and of course, it's an effect, or it's a lag-on effect of the of what we call the living cost crisis, which is inflation. But one more important thing is the fact that there simply are not enough homes available to meet the growing demand. I think there's approximately 25 million homes as at 2 years ago, for which the government has pledged to build 180,000 more houses over the next 4 or 5 years, really. But and we have about almost 9 million people whose housing demands are not being met. So coupled with people coming over to the country, Nigerians in this case, Indians, of course, Chinese, etc. So there's already a pressure. And of course, the landlords, they do find this as an opportunity to, people just think houses somewhere where you live, right? But of course, a lot of people have actually been able to take advantage of this and convert it into some form of business. And therefore, if you're coming in from, doesn't really matter, from a third world country, of course you're going to be second rate priority, really. Otherwise, you've got to be able to spend a lot more. And I've had situations whereby people coming in from other countries have to pay. Normally, you put in a form of deposit, but now landlords are actually asking for a lot more deposits because a lot of them, again, do not have the history of rental in the country. So it's an opportunity for people to cash in on their naivety at the same time.
Chances are international students are now at risk of exploitation and financial strain. But is there any hope in sight? Is this a priority for the UK government?
Oh, absolutely not. If you come in here, you did sign on the dotted line that you have no recourse to public funds, and you did say, well, you're applying for your visa, unfortunately, that you are able to take or look after yourself, financially as well. So as a result of that, it's not a priority for the UK government at all. In fact, if you do actually, if there's a complaint as a result, or you are found wanting, of course, that would be seen as a breach, really. And of course, it could lead to deportation, for which, even though they do have should we call it the push in factor of being able to work just about 20 hours, really. And they don't, most employers need somebody who can commit to longer hours. And of course, you can come in when they like, and of course, how they like you to come in, really. But of course, a lot of them do have contractual obligations with the Home Office, and they cannot meet this demand. So unfortunately, no, they are not the lowest hanging fruit at all.
You know, a study here says fewer than 1 in 10 available beds in the major university cities are within the financial reach of students relying on maintenance loans and grants. What is this saying to many Nigerian students who are high in education in the UK? Perhaps you can help us understand what the situation is there and how they can, you know, better weigh their chances before leaving.
Sure. So with the way it works, universities themselves don't have enough accommodation anyway for the students. They do prioritize international students, but of course they prioritize undergraduates first. And again, it's actually a lot more expensive. Most home, property investors, they tend to like university areas because it's it's catchment area for students, and as a result of that, number one, you cannot even afford it, and sharing is just out of the window, really. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to university students or accommodation, you've got to leave during the holiday period as well. So again, so it's kind of a way not as equal. So people prefer to go with private landlords, and private landlords, they know the limitations of the university accommodations. Therefore, they tend to add a little bit of a premium to it. And then again, coming from from a country like Nigeria, where you got to factor everything in naira, and it just doesn't work really. I think a lot of people, you've got people who probably sold everything they have, and of course, coupled with inflation from Nigeria, which is about going as high as it has been in my lifetime again. So you are looking at literally just going out of hand. I kind of forgot what the question is right now. So, but again, we're talking about the cost of living crisis. We're talking about the inflation. We're talking about the cascading effect on property. I think another point I need to make is about, we've had, I think as of last year, it was bad, where we had about 45,000 people who migrated to the UK. But if you look at this year now, over the last 8 or 9 months, we've had about extra 20-25%, which just means there's extra pressure. So there's nothing a lot of them can do. I think the better hang of it.
Perhaps it's a blessing in disguise that Nigerian students are now banned from coming to the UK with their families and dependents. But that's our time. We explore that story subsequently. Gbenga Onifade live for us in London.
Thank you.